It is Monday, January 23rd, 2023, and I'm calling to order the Education Operations Committee meeting. I'm seeking a motion to approve the minutes of December 19th, 2022.
So move.
Any questions? None? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Public and student comment. Are there any comments? Anyone to speak to us? All right, moving right along. We will have a referendum construction update as the referendum-funded facility improvements continue to develop. Construction and budget updates will routinely be presented.
Thank you.
You're there, ready
Thank
to go.
you. We've got a slide deck up on the screen. It's going to be brief. I hope that's okay with everybody tonight. There's some excitement happening at some of the sites, and the budget sheet hasn't changed much. So with that, I'll introduce Nick Anderson from Nexus.
Thank you, Bob, and thanks for having me here. Like Bob said, Mr. Test, excuse me, I will keep this very brief. We've got construction going on 4 projects right now. Fortunately, the quick update is the weather has been great so far this winter, so it's really allowing progress to continue and moving forward. Masonry continues at all 4 buildings. We're completely out of the ground on every building except for School Forest. We're roughly halfway out of the ground right now. So footings, foundations, and the 3 elementary schools are all complete. At Stettin, they had roughly a 3-week jump start on the other projects as far as when a bid and contracts were awarded. So right now we are all about 90% complete with the perimeter bearing wall, CMU, and then we'll be moving into the interior and exterior envelope with insulation and the brickwork. And like I said, to keep it brief, we can move to South Mountain just so you can get a look at the pictures. One difference at South Mountain, very similar work going on. We're about 20% done with the masonry work right now. The interior of the building, in order to tie in the new MEP systems, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems, a portion of the existing ceilings were removed, as you can see on the picture on the left there. So contractors have been diligently working in there, either on off hours or a couple people in the building at a time. Moving on to Riverview Elementary. And I will say these pictures are all roughly 10 days old, being when we get it into board meeting, and a lot happens in a week during this stage of construction. So if you were to drive by, that wall on the bottom right there was the existing end wall of that building. Right now that is completely up in masonry. Of course, if you drive by, you're going to see a bunch of tents because they're working inside enclosures in order to keep the temperatures appropriate to allow the materials to set and cure. And then finally we can move on to the School Forest. Big excavation going on out there right now. Once again, these pictures are roughly 10 days old. As of this morning when I was out there, they finished pouring the footings for the entire basement. So one of the classroom wings, the footings have been poured, the foundations have been installed. Half of the basement foundation walls have been installed, and all of the footings have been installed as of this afternoon. So that's what I have for a real quick update. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask.
That was very quick. Are there any questions? If not, we'll continue on.
Last slide.
Oh.
This is what you're going to see. Every referendum update, you're going to see this now. Good news, I guess, in the name of brevity. Nothing has gone to 95% since you saw this last. Nothing has been bid since you saw this last. So nothing has essentially changed, with the exception, I took East High School and split it between East High School and Athletics Phase 1. I did the same thing with West High School, so it's split out, West High School and West High School Phase 1 athletics. Other than that, it's the only change. We still are tracking at $2 million available yet, when you consider it's really a $124 million referendum because of interest earnings. So this slide has not changed much, but I'll still entertain any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that, Mr. Tess. Agenda item number 5, annual 3-year capital improvement plan is submitted to the Board of Education for approval. Sealer, am I killing your name today? Oh my goodness, must be late for me. Building and grounds will review notable projects recently completed, as well as the effect of the alternate funding sources to provide context for the upcoming planned capital improvements. Projects planned for 2023-2024 are provided on the final page. The administration recommends the committee as a whole approve the 2023-2024 capital projects and corresponding budget. I turn it over to you.
Okay, so the information you have in front of you should look pretty similar to what you've seen for the last 10 years. It really hasn't changed as far as format is concerned. The pages in the booklet, there's about 30 pages in there, spells out the capital projects that have been completed in previous years, just to provide some context. The final page is probably the most important, which really outlines the capital needs for the coming 3 fiscal years. Generally speaking, they exceed the 1,008,400. That number's burned into my brain because it's been with me for so long. They exceed that amount, and you will also see some information regarding how we're going to reconcile the fact that we have more need than we have budget. And it's really a combination of taking some money from Q1, the previous operational referendum, and then the rest of the things that don't fit within the budget really just get postponed, or we have to find a way to find some capital money or under other funding sources. But generally speaking, postponement is usually the course of action that happens. I think it's important to note, particularly this year, that the projects we would anticipate doing are projects that have the least likelihood of being affected by any potential moves we would make with the restructuring. So we're obviously mindful of that. And as always, we avoid naming specific projects so that we maintain some degree of flexibility in case we have a tornado and a roof blows off, or natural disasters, or when winter weather is particularly hard on pavement, whatever the case may be. So that's why you don't see us name specific projects.
Very appreciate the handout and all the information on there. It really is beneficial, the history of the buildings and when they came about. So appreciate that too.
Great. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I'm wondering how, it might not be for Larry specifically, but we kind of gave a nod to, potentially spending the extra money for these footings out here. Are we tying some of that in the design that Nexus needs to do with actually making West 10 through 12? Or you understand what I'm asking? I guess I thought that the footings, the thing was, the building was going to get designed out front to include that, and now, we were kind of talking about before, and I was talking in between. You know what I mean, Bob?
Yes. What you're being asked to approve right now is not referendum related. This is the normal capital improvement budget, and there are no such footings in the normal capital improvement budget.
Correct.
And what we're essentially asking you to do is take a $128 million budget and give us the first $1 million that we're going to put into that budget so we can start bidding some things out, roofing projects, parking lots, things of that nature. So we're just asking us to get going on next year's budget with something in bedrock that, okay, does that make sense? Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. I'm seeking a motion to recommend to the full Board of Education the approval of the 2023-2024 capital projects and corresponding budget. Questions? If not, all in favor? Aye. Against? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations, we just started building next year's budget, a little bit.
Okay, you're up, Mr. Dess. Go ahead.
What you see here is a report that you're accustomed to seeing. This is our second quarterly legal expense report. And we're tracking, I think that number in the lower right-hand corner is about $33,000. So we are on track to stay within budget. Our annual budget, I believe, is $90,000. Halfway through the year, 33,000 out of 90 spent for just a reporting purposes, no action needed.
No action. Okay. The presented summary lists the legal firms the district makes use of for a variety of necessary legal needs. Seeking a motion to approve the attached list of the law firms the board and the district shall access for legal services deemed necessary by the superintendent of schools or his or her designee.
Okay, leave this one up there because it'll serve the purpose, right? But you're looking at maybe something different in board book, a different document than this one. That is an amended version of what you saw in August. A list of law firms, all of which are up there, by the way, a list of law firms that we're able to access for a variety of reasons from time to time. We need access to other law firms. In this particular case, Von Briesen and Roper had a couple of attorneys that we were very comfortable working with, and they provide very specific services that we like to access, and we can't access them unless you add on a Tolis law firm to your list of approved legal firms. So that's what we're asking for in that motion. I probably should have made it red or underlined or something. It's the very last one listed on your report, a Tolis law firm, and it would give us permission to access their services.
Motion stated. Any questions? If not, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. I'm seeking a motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries.